Escape collapsing Canada. These are the top 3 destinations that Canadians are currently moving to. Number 1 is the United States. Now, so many people are moving to the United States because the economy is performing way better than the Canadian economy. It's not only that, for skilled people in scientific areas of the economy who work in engineering or who work in skilled trades, can earn substantially more money in the United States. The cost of living is very similar to Canada, although depending on the state, you can actually have a much lower cost of living than in Canada. You can also pick any climate in the United States as it has them all, unlike Canada, which just has dry cold, wet cold, and cold cold. Number 2 is Mexico. Mexico is attracting a ton of expats and even business entrepreneurs who want to start businesses in places which have a middle class, and the middle class is actually growing, not shrinking, unlike Canada. So Mexico is a growing country. It's attracted a lot of investment. More and more manufacturing is going to Mexico strategically, so it's close to the United States, but then it's also out of China. So the reshoring of manufacturing to the United States actually benefits Mexico and benefits Mexico's economy. Despite what you may hear on the mainstream media, safety is not a big concern in many of the regions where expats live, such as Cancun, Lake Chapala, Cabo San Lucas, Puerto Vallarta. Just to name a few, there are many in Mexico. But unless you're in a bad spot, like you can have in any city in Canada or the United States, then generally expats feel like they're very safe in Mexico. I've never felt like I'm in any sort of danger in Mexico. You see way more police out there in Mexico as well, which helps you feel very safe. Mexico also has an amazing culture which spans a long history, and a lot of people do like that fact about Mexico, that you've got that long history, that you've got so much history. Things like Day of the Dead are absolutely amazing celebrations to go and see, but a lot of expats actually enjoy embracing Mexican culture, and Mexican people are some of the nicest people that you can possibly meet across Latin America. Mexicans are just very service oriented, they're very, very kind, and they can't do enough for you, and that is really, really nice to see. Just like in the United States, you can also pick your climate in Mexico. They have pretty much all of them apart from snow and winter, unless you actually want that. But one thing that's worth noting here is the cost of living for especially retirees over the past few years has been very, very volatile. People who've been and moved there for the lower cost of living, which Mexico does have had quite the shock, because there has been massive variances in both the Canadian dollar and the Mexican peso. So that has led to a lot of volatility in people's incomes if they don't have domestically sourced income in Mexico. So that is one thing of note. And obviously with the Canadian peso's continued decline, we'll have to see how it all shakes out with Mexico. Number 3 on the list is Panama. Now, Panama has a lot of good things going for it. It has excellent connections to Canada. You can fly direct from both Montreal and Toronto, doesn't matter what time of year, which is really good. So access is really good. You're also far away from where potentially World War III might be playing out, which is really good. It's a strategic location. That's why the Panama Canal was built in Panama. It's also relatively safe, and I say relatively because this is Latin America after all. If you're going for safety, you'd be heading to somewhere probably in Asia or in the Middle East, even though people think it's the complete opposite. But Panama has attracted a lot of Canadian expats. There's many different microclimates that are on offer in Panama. The cost of living is substantially less than a place like Canada, although once again, because of the Canadian peso's continued decline, you've seen a lot of retirees that are being impacted by this in Panama as well. So Panama Panama and Mexico, you do have that currency risk, especially if you're at retirement age. You have to take that into account. Obviously, if you're moving to the United States, you're likely going to be in your income earning years. So you're going to be earning US dollars. So you don't have that worry. But obviously, Panama or Mexico, you have that risk. Another great reason for moving to Panama is the healthcare. The healthcare in Panama is pretty amazing and it's very, very affordable. And it's led to a lot of people coming to Panama for what's called healthcare tourism, both from the United States and Canada. And you might say, well, why would they go from Canada? Because I thought Canada had free healthcare. Well, first of all, it's not free. You're paying for it with your taxes. And the wait times for certain things in Canada are completely insane. It doesn't matter what province you're in. The healthcare has significantly declined over the past 5 to 10 years. So a lot of people are just going overseas. They're going to places like Panama because they want that healthcare. It's home to a Johns Hopkins University hospital in Panama City, but there's many different very good and affordable healthcare options in Panama. Panama is also a tax haven, although most of the people that are moving to Panama are retired, but Panama is operating in the territorial tax regime, which essentially means if you structure your taxes right, you can pay little to no tax depending on obviously where your income's coming from. So this is one thing that Panama is obviously well known for. Panama is also the economic hub of Central America. So it's the economic hub for trade, but it's also becoming the economic hub for many different things. Now, it's always been the banking hub of Latin America, Central America, and South America. Panama, like Mexico, is a growing country. It's a third world country that's still developing. So what that means is, yeah, it's going to be a little bit rough around the edges, exactly like Mexico. But unlike a place like Canada or the United States or the UK, things are actually getting better versus in those countries where they've passed their prime and things are actually getting worse. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter where people are going, people are leaving, and the amount of people leaving Canada is just increasing. The amount of investment that is going elsewhere because of the collapsing economy, it's all out there in the data. You really don't have to be very smart to work it out. You only have to just open your eyes, which unfortunately a lot of people aren't doing. And I hope if you are planning an escape, or you have escaped, or you are escaping, that everything goes well for you in the place that you choose. I know many people on this channel have asked for a video like this, and many people on this channel are people that have escaped. So please leave a comment below with your experience and where you are. And if you've enjoyed this video, I'd highly recommend that you check out this video here, which dovetails on the back of this video. And if you're looking for a VPN and want to help support the channel, that's the VPN that I use. You can click the link on the screen or go in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.